Hello Blender community. In this video I want to show you the tool for Blender, which makes it easy to create flooring, wall tiles, house siding, and much more similar stuff. And it's called FloorGenerator. You can find the FloorGenerator at the Blender Market. I will leave the link in the description. Here you can always find the information about the latest updates. And at the user manual website, there is a clear guide on the FloorGenerator installation and how to use instructions. I would also highly recommend to check the tips and tricks page where it is shown how to speed up the work with the FloorGenerator by using the Node Wrangler hotkeys. Once you have everything set, it is very easy to use the FloorGenerator. Let's clean the scene and create a new plane. Then go to Modifiers tab, Add Modifier, and there you should now have FloorGenerator category with different flooring patterns. Let's select Standard Pattern for now, and it's done. Let me enable the wireframe overlay to better see the flooring mesh in the viewport. Now you can easily edit the original object to get the shape of the flooring you want. And with the latest update, it is possible to generate boards or tiles not only on the flat horizontal object, but on literally any object shape in all three dimensions. Let's now try some materials. Go to Asset Browser and find there the FloorGenerator Asset Library. Here you can find a bunch of high-quality materials, which are categorized by their types. Let's use the wooden flooring material, by just dragging it onto the object. We will take a closer look at the materials later. Now let's play a little bit and try FloorGenerator on some different objects. Let's try a simple cube first. If you select Cube and then select the existing flooring object holding Shift key, you can copy the modifier to the cube. Same with the material. Looks perfect. Now let's try it on something more difficult. Let's use a hexagon pattern in this example. Looks great too. Let's add some material. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the parameters of every FloorGenerator pattern. Let's add a plane. A little bit bigger. We're going to use it as a sample of the flooring. Now let's duplicate it 4 more times, so we have samples for every pattern. Let's already apply some material to the planes. Just one same material for all of them. And now let's add a FloorGenerator pattern to every plane. Here we have Standard. Let's make Chevron next. Here goes Herringbone, here Hexagon, and finally basketweave pattern. Good. Now before we dive into the parameters, I would like to switch Blender units. I prefer to work with centimeters. So first parameter is length. There are 2 values, maximum and minimum length. If they are not equal, FloorGenerator creates boards with random length limited by minimum and maximum values. If you want to have all boards same length, just input equal values for both parameters. The next parameter is width. Its 2 inputs work the same principle as the length parameter. Here we have another two parameters which allow to change the grout size in length and width direction. Checking the checkbox below, you can lock the grout value. And now, grout length parameter works for grout size in both directions, making it easy to have them equal. The grout mesh checkbox allows you to show or hide the mesh of the grout, and with the help of the grout depth parameter, you can control how deep the grout is. The offset parameter controls the shift of each row in relation to the previous. Here you again have minimum and maximum values which limit the random offset. If you lock the offset or input equal values to both fields, you can create a pattern with exact offset value for each row. Extrude height parameter allows you to control how thick the boards of the flooring is. And the checkbox below allows to compensate the height of the flooring and move it down to 0 position. This might be very useful when you create a flooring for your interior and want its top surface to be on 0 axis value. And thus, when you have multiple flooring types in the interior, their top surfaces will stay at the same level. The next parameter is called cap bottom. What it does, it closes the bottom side of the board with a polygon, which is not initially there to increase efficiency a bit. This might be very useful in many cases. For instance, if you decided to create a fence which is going to be visible from both sides, you can easily cap the other side with the missing polygons and then maybe add a bevel modifier on top. FloorGenerator has a simple bevel tool built in. Changing the bevel height value and outline value, you can control the corresponding parameters of the bevel. Lock bevel checkbox makes both values equal to bevel height value. The direction parameter controls the direction of the flooring laying. The clapboard parameter controls the depth of the clapboard siding. This is a very handy tool when using FloorGenerator for modeling a house siding with clapboard effect. The next parameter is seed value. As was mentioned earlier, there are some parameters which are random and help to make the flooring non-repetitive and thus more realistic. And changing the seed value, you change the sequence of pseudorandom numbers. That means there is an endless amount of unique flooring configurations which you can control just with this one seed value. Offset X and offset Y parameters control the offset of the whole flooring to X or Y direction. The remove small parameter allows to remove the board size of which is smaller than the input value. That might be useful in some cases. The last three checkboxes allow to add randomness by randomly rotating or flipping textures of the MultiTexture material. These are all the parameters of the FloorGenerator standard pattern. Other patterns have the same parameters with just minor differences. Let's take a quick look at them. The Chevron pattern has length, width, and angle parameters, which are pretty straightforward and control the exact things you would expect from them. In the Herringbone pattern, you will also find length and width parameters with the help of which you control the size of the boards. The new parameter here is parallel boards. It controls the amount of boards side by side. The Hexagon pattern has its main parameter, radius. It is the size of the circumscribed circle of the hexagon tile. The basketweave pattern has a common value for the length and width, since a group of boards always creates a square together. And the subboards parameter controls the amount of boards inside each square. Oh, I skipped the tilt parameter. This one helps to add some imperfection to the flooring, changing the angle of each board top surface randomly. This is an easy way to create an old-looking or damaged flooring. Let's now talk about FloorGenerator materials. As you could notice earlier in this video, there is a pack of materials which goes together with the full version of the FloorGenerator. It contains different parquet wood and tiles materials. There are two types of materials: MultiTexture material and seamless texture material. Let's create a sample flooring and take a closer look at every of that two material types. This is a multi-texture material. Its main feature is the possibility to use separate textures for every single board or tiles. This big group node is responsible for connection of all of the textures to one shader, and it is limited by maximum of 16 textures, which is usually enough to create a good visual randomness. Let's take a look at how this board texture looks like. As you can see, it is not a seamless texture. It's the cutout of one board texture, which are often provided by flooring manufacturers. It is very easy to edit the multi-texture material, and of course you can replace textures with your own textures. You can even use RGB colors as inputs to keep your material fully procedural. Even using just one texture as an input, you still can get a not bad result thanks to random texture rotation and UV flipping. By creating a multi-texture material, it is important to use an attribute with a specified name as a mapping vector input. Now let's check the seamless texture material. This is a very simple shader you use all the time, which has seamless textures connected to its inputs. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's indeed seamless. You can actually apply any material to the floor generator. Just make sure that it has an attribute with the name UV map connected to mapping vector input. It's just that if the textures of the material are not seamless, you're going to see seams on the boards. I also want to show you some other features that work in both materials. There are 3 additional attributes which you can use to mix shaders for grout, sides, and bevel of the flooring. For grout material, there is already a group node created. In this material, attributes, sides, and bevel are used to make edges of tiles in gold. You can combine the attributes or use them separately. It is also possible to adjust the rotation and scale inside of each board with the mapping node. With this attribute, you can add even more randomness to the flooring by using it as a factor input for different texture mixes. For instance, mixing base color brightness, hue, or saturation.
And this was the floor generator. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about FloorGenerator or which features you would add to this tool. And feel free to subscribe to the channel to not miss the upcoming videos with more tutorials and showcases.